as the race is about to get underway.
Yeah, on pole position then, it is the Cayman, though, of Warren Allen as they come up to the line. The red lights are on. The red lights go out, and we're underway at Donington Park, and it's a good start there by the pole position car, the 165 car of Warren Allen, the Porsche Cayman. He moves immediately into the lead of the race. They're not hampered, of course, with it not being the standing start. Oh, and a spin there for the car that you were just picking up, which is Robert Holloman. That beautiful 911 is into the gravel trap straight away at Redgate Corner. That is such a shame right at the start of the 40-minute race. But it means a bigger lead, if anything, for Warren Allen. The rest of the pack trying to make their way down through the Craner curves towards the old hairpin for the first time. Lots of Boxsters, as you were saying, but also some of the front engine portions just behind as well. And the Marshals very quick to get on the scene to try and get that 911 of the Norfolk driver Robert Holloman back onto the circuit.
Yeah, real shame to see that car spin into the gravel, a car that raced in the United States back when it was new. It's only been in the UK for a few years, and Robert Holloman's debut in this series hasn't started particularly well after a good start, but a little bit too late on the brakes. It was a bit more slippery than he was expecting, and that is going to cause a safety car to come out to cover the Marshals. That may get the car out of the gravel. It may be a short safety car period, but we take a breather. In qualifying, Warren Allen was cut 2.5 seconds quicker than anybody else, so he's going to be difficult to beat. He took some victories at Snetterton last year in this car. The driver from Oxford, who's been a race winner in road sports in the past as well. In this 2010 Porsche Cayman 3.4 litre car that's been converted into a race car by Warren with some help from Kennington Autos, but he is going to be difficult to beat. Although with these drying conditions, Ian, that could mix things up a little bit as the race goes on.
It could. There'll have been questions about setup and sort of tyre selection and all of that kind of thing as well. So we are behind the safety car here. I think the only issue is that Rob Holloman car that's off at Redgate Corner, the only one that needs sorting out. The regulations for this, we've mentioned mandatory pit stops. Those will take place between 15 and 25 minutes into the race, and there's the 911 that's now out of the gravel trap. I'm pleased to say. So is he going to be able to go back into the race? I think he might be able to, albeit he'll be exactly a lap down. But yes, 15-25 minutes, that's when the pit stops can take place. There were 4 different classes as well, SP1 down to SP4. SP1 are the cars with blue stickers, SP2 with red, SP3s have yellow, SP4s have orange, and it's all about power to weight ratio. So 230 brake horsepower per maximum for SP1, with limits at 180, 160 and 130 for SP2, 3 and 4.
Yeah, generally in Class 4 is where we find the 924s, and Class 2 is where you find the standard Boxster S cars, and then Class 3 is generally for front engine cars. Then Class 1 has a mix of perhaps more modified machines and the Caymans. So we're going to go back to racing this time. The safety car is in on the end of this lap. So that was a quick recovery up there at Redgate, and Rob Holloman is going to be able to continue in that 1968 Porsche 911 with a 2-litre twin-plug EFI engine. So I wonder how much progress he can make, because obviously qualified inside the top 6 this morning, and it's a long race.
Yeah, I would certainly think he might make some places back. He was lapping perhaps 10 seconds a lap faster than some of the other cars out there, so it's more than plausible that he'll make his way back onto the leading lap before the end of the race. So we're going to get back underway here to start lap 3 of the race. Warren Allen it is that's leading the field round there in this Porsche Cayman as the race gets back underway. I think he has got a transponder issue with that car, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if that does catch us out at any point in the race. It's 80 Juice there that's in second place in number 8, and James Gunn Carter, number 4, is in third position, both of those in Boxster S's.
Down the Craner curves, they go single file restart, of course. One car that's coming to the pits is the Callaghan family Boxster, so that's had a drama seemingly. But we look at the pack coming through, including number 25, which is the car of Jamie McHugh, who looks like he's back out in his box too. He was hoping to be in his 944 turbo. There's the Callahan car, I think. It was started by Father Mark. Sam does have his own car normally, but I think that broke a week or so ago. And the car is going back out into the race with a bit of luck.
Yeah, Sam's just crouching down, isn't he? Just have a look to see if there's something dragging underneath the car, maybe.
And he looks a bit frustrated. So
he does.
There is obviously a further issue.
Not exactly positive body language.
Making progress, 177. It says Ed Harvey on the timing screen, but I think it's also been shared by Ross Morritt, and he started it.
Yeah.
The Callahan car's got back into the race, and Ross Morritt, a pretty quick driver. He's won races in his class in the club championship in the past, and he's progressing through the order, and he's going to get another place on the exit of the chicane here, Ian.
And it's also an SP2 class car rather than SP1, as in the programmes, for those of you who are noting these things.
Yeah, so he started in 10th, and he's up to 4th, so it's been a very good 1.5 racing laps they've had so far.
And it's just ahead of William Kirtley now, isn't he, for 4th position, and then setting off in pursuit of, a few seconds up the road, James Guncarter. That's the Mark Callahan car that was going slow towards the front of pitch down at the old hairpin there, as he was possibly trying to get back up to speed again.
I think Warren Allen's gone quicker than he went in qualifying already, a 1 minute 27.5 in these drier conditions. Oh, and is that Callahan? He had a moment at the old hairpin, so something is not right with that car, I'm afraid. So we're on to lap 4. We see the battle between William Cutler and Brian Richardson. Richardson, who's fairly new to racing, gains the position, so 15 goes through. He started racing a couple of years ago with the assistance of Colin Tester, but he's a solo driver now. He's up into 5th position ahead of William Kirtler, both Boxster S machines.
Yeah, quite a lot of cars from that class, aren't there? And of that type, the Boxster S is numerically dominant on this grid. And that was the problem. That was the problem for Mark Callahan, because there's now only 3 wheels on that car. It's the left rear. I imagine probably what somebody did come in thinking, I've got a bit of a vibration here. They've sent him back out again, and what that vibration was something fairly terminal, because the left rear wheel has parted company with the car, and that will need a little bit of assistance to recover it, I shouldn't wonder.
Yes.
So that's stop to put claims. There's the wheel and the tyre.
And a wheel nut that the marshal just picked up.
Yeah, okay. Well, if he's quick, he can go and reattach that potentially if he's got a wheel gun there.
Safety cars coming out.
Yeah, no great surprise there. That probably explains why he had a moment at the old hairpin as well, Mark Callahan.
This race isn't going terribly to plan, really, is it? 2
safety cars within the first 8 minutes. Not ideal.
Now, the pit window opens after 15 minutes.
It's open between 15 and 25, so it's another 7 minutes away yet before that is open.
Not sure what's happening there, to be quite honest.
No, just on the screen there's one car going slowly and one car not going quite so slowly past it, which obviously shouldn't be happening under safety car conditions. Just trying to see where the safety car is. Has the safety car itself made itself out on circuit yet? No, it's not. There it is, and it is going to be put on. It's going to pick up that back marker first, which is the 42 car of Darren Constant, his Porsche 924. Of course, like the Boxster S, the Porsche 924 had its own standalone championship in the past, in the sort of 80s and 90s, which is very successful.
Had a few quick drivers come through that into GT racing.
Absolutely right. But yeah, 924s, a handful of them do compete in the SP4 class at the rear of the field here.
Yeah, leading that class in the early stages, Andy Whiting, who's actually in the 924S. He's in 23rd position overall.
There is the race leader, was Allen, as he prefers to be known, and he is going to make his way, hopefully, onto the back of the safety car at some point, but he's not going at a particularly rapid pace at the moment, nor should he be behind the safety car, but taking it nice and easy.
Now, Warren Allen, the 49-year-old landlord from Oxford, started racing back in 2016. We mentioned he was a winner in road sports. He also raced with the Classic Sports Car Club, but last year joined the Calm Porsche series. I think enjoyed himself, so he's back again. The ex-Club 100 carter in this Porsche Cayman that he converted from a road car to a race car, as I suspect the majority of cars on this grid have been. Good to see the front engine cars out there too. There are other Porsche championships in the UK, but I think the Calm Series is the only place where we see front engine cars race, and there's lots of them on the grid here, which is great to see. And leading Class 3, which features a number of them, is the 35 car, which is Dan Crago today in his family 968 Club Sport.
Yeah. This series, a great and very friendly place to come and race your Porsche, and we do have the great variety of cars as well. And of course, it also races for a good cause. CALM, that stands for the Campaign Against Living Miserably, which is a charity that works in the sphere of men's mental health, and a charity therefore very important. Male suicide, very big killer amongst men in this country, and CALM do great work to sort of support in that area, and sort of any profits made by the championship are ploughed back into charity, which is very good indeed. And it's great as well that we have so many cars on the grid as well. More than 30 we had today. We've sadly lost a couple already through various issues, but a great variety of machines, and hopefully when we get these cars cleared from the circuit we'll see some very good racing again. 28 3/4 minutes gone. It looks like the Mark Callahan car is going to be clear of the circuit fairly quickly. Then it'll just be a question of getting the snatch vehicle back into a position of safety. There's an interesting car. That's the 903 car, which is the invitation class 911 of Ken Van Houten.
Yeah, that's a slightly later 911 than Rob Hollyman's. It's a 1973 car, but like Rob Hollyman's, it's the car that raced in America. So somewhat unusually, you had two cars on this grid, both 911s, that have raced in the States. These cars are 3.2 litre supercharged Carrera engine, an 80s engine car in a 1970s chassis, and it was imported to the UK a few seasons ago. Previously raced in NS8, NASA N8S8 and Porsche Club of America in the States. Phil Bruff, I think, has prepared it for British racing, and I think he made his debut at Anglesey last year, Ken Van Houten, and he's getting slightly quicker in the car. He's further up the order than he was last year, so he'll be pleased with that, and with the tricky conditions too. And so with hopefully dry races as the season goes on, I'm sure we'll see Ken work his way through the order again. It's just a great car to have out there. So we've had a couple of classic 911s today. It'd be good to see some more out there in the future.
Not sure all of that wing is particularly classic, but it certainly looks aggressive, doesn't it? It looks the part anyway. So yellow light panel still flashing all around the circuit. 27 minutes left on the clock. The pit window opens in about 2 minutes' time, just under 2 minutes' time now, and we'll see if that is going to be. Could sort of have one more passage past the pit lane, then one more lap, and then the pit lane window will open. It'll be interesting to see if people do go for an early stop, given the dramas that we've had.
Could we go green this time?
I would think the snatch vehicle is pretty clear. So yeah, we're going to. Safety car lights are out. Warren Allen is hanging back from the safety car, and he's already done one safety car restart in this race. He's about to do another. And he is going to be leading as we go on to lap 8 of this race, although I think we're in about the third or fourth actual racing lap. Away they go.
Here the flat 6 Porsche engine there, accelerating out of the Robert chicane. There's one car that has gone for the pit lane, was there? Looked like something was peeling into the pits behind the
William
safety car.
Kurtler is into the pit lane, who was up there.
So has he misjudged when the pit window opens, I wonder? Anyway, there's Jamie McHugh, who's battling away with Ferdinand Gattino. And Gattino's going to go through, I think, into 10th position in his Boxster. There's the first of the boxes, the first of the Class 2 cars, Andrew Juice, who turns his way towards McLean's, the 44-year-old from Berkshire. Only started racing last year, so this is good to see how well he's going. did the Burkitt last year, one of the races he competed in this 2005 Porsche 987 Boxster, which was previously raced by Charles Clark, who's been successful in Porsche Carrera Cup, among other things.
If you're wondering about the dog on the side of AD Andrew Juice's car, it's called Fearless, and it was his great-grandfather's or great-great-grandfather's pedigree Alsatian that was shown at Crofts in the early 1900s. So there we go, and supported by Fentimann's long-standing family business. Anyway, back to the racing. Little battle going on here for the lead amongst the SP3 class. Pit window now open. And that is going to be immediately taken advantage of by the number 35 car, Daniel Krieger. He drives straight into the pit lane, thereby handing the race lead as far as the SP3 class is concerned to Edward Sampson, number 30.
That's right, yeah. So that was a battle that we were looking forward to. Maybe we have to wait a little bit longer for that. Rob Hollyman's race in the Charles Ivy Racing prepared car has come to a halt briefly. He's on his way again, as in the pits, as Ian mentioned there, is Dan Craigo in the number 35 Porsche 968 Club Sport.
And driving solo today, not sometimes I think it's a shared car, that one, but driving solo on this occasion.
987 we see there, started by Gary Stanford, who's in his first ever car race. He's done karting, he's done sprinting and track days before, but good to see him making his racing debut today. And he works within the NHS as one of the many people we thank for their service to the country.
Big moment for number 11, which is Dominic McGee in the Boxster S, and he travels his way through the gravel trap of McLean's and comes out the other side, but that would have been a heart-in-the-mouth moment for the driver from Rugby. And he has got back onto the circuit, thankfully, without any major dramas.
Yeah, Dom in his second, I think, full season in this car. But that, as you say, was quite a big moment there, but he saved it. There's 56, which is Tom McHugh, the 63-year-old director from Surrey. Started racing back in 1995 in the Porsche Club Championship, and he races this 3-litre 968, which is prepared by Charles Ivy specialist cars. Of course, Charles Ivy Racing run cars at Le Mans, including Group C cars in the 1980s.
So we are 22 minutes left in this race now. The pit window's been open for a couple of minutes or so. It's going to be open until 15 minutes to go, if I remember rightly.
Warren Allen did one quick lap at 1 minute 25.534. Isn't putting that far clear of Andrew Juice, just 2.4 seconds between the Cayman and the Boxster.
McGee is into the pit, so is the Ken Van Houten car that we saw during the safety car period, which caught our eye.
So McGee's handed over, isn't he, to Stuart Warner. He shares that car with.
Yeah, a moment at McLean's was enough for him in that race.
Juice into the pit lane from second place now. So this race could be won in the pit lane, because there wasn't a huge amount between them. Juice had pulled quite a long way clear of Ross Morris, who's in third position now. He's got himself ahead of James Gunn Carter, who's in a Class 1 Boxster, modified Boxster. Running up the order. Rob Hollyman's still going, isn't he, after the second moment of the race. Accelerating out of Coppice in that 2-litre car. Despite having a smaller engine than the Boxsters, I think it's probably much more modified than the standard Boxsters, so quick in a straight line. And he's trying to unlap himself against the cars around him. His best lap was so far has been a 1 minute 34. And on that lap was a 1 minute 32, which would put him within the top 10 had it not been for that lap one incident.
Yeah, very frustrating for him that he had that off at Redgate right at the beginning of the race. But now trying to enjoy the remaining 20 minutes or so of this race and get back into a respectable position. Try and get back onto the lead lap.
Warren Allen's gone a bit quicker. He's done a 1 minute 25.392 with his closest rival in the pit lane, serving their pit stop. Another car in the pits is the Cola liveried 68.
Yeah, Scott Gardner to hand over to Martin Mason. Two drivers from south of England.
Gardner, I think he's just getting out of the car, 33-year-old from Dorset, in his first ever race. So another driver making their racing debut. It's great to see so many drivers today coming racing drivers for the first time.
That's absolutely right. And 750 Most Club in this car, all Porsche trophy, both excellent places to make your first steps into motor racing. So there's Deuce, who is now classified 9th after his pit stop.
We just had a look at the Alsatian, isn't it, on the side of the car, the Crufts eligible dog from a number of years ago now.
A century or so ago. Fearless, which hopefully sums up Andrew's approach, or AD's approach to racing as well. So that's the 68 car. That's short to go back out again into the race.
Of course, the Coca-Cola livery, I guess that is inspired from his car that raced at Petit Le Mans a few years ago. That I think Nick Tandy was part of, Lawrence Vantor as well, the 911 RSR.
Yeah, and there's a great history of Boxsters racing with tribute liveries on, isn't there? Of various cars that have achieved great things. Porsches in particular have achieved great things in Le Mans and other international sports car racing.
Yeah, that car actually was built by Porsche Centre Swindon for, I think, that one make series that was for a season or so, which was basically for tribute livery cars.
Yeah, it was a great looking grid, that one. I remember seeing it on an occasion or two. So we've got still Was Allen leading the way. He's done a new fastest lap of the race last time, 125.152 to complete his 12th lap.
And he's just behind possibly his main rival in this race on the road, but what is it, a lap between them, or the best part, a lap minus a car length, because Andrew Deuce is ahead of Warren Allen.
He's now showing 12th actually, now that the sort of time feeling's shaking itself out properly.
So
Deuce.
How much quicker is the Cayman in a straight line? Not huge amounts, actually.
No, it's not noticeable. He's not able to get past, is he, on the run down into this? But I wonder if Was Allen is now thinking, I need to take my pit stop soon, because he's only got another 2.5 minutes, and he's going to dive into the pit lane this time, which is probably why he didn't really push to try and get past the car.
Cars wherever you look around this circuit. A couple of front engine cars and a couple of Boxsters here, turning through Coppice Corner, including the 30 machine that's also yet to pit, the Ed Sampson driven car. He's yet to hand over to Clayton Sampson, so I'm sure he'll do that soon. And in that, another of the Club Sports out there. Club Sport, a spinner.
And that's a dramatic moment for number 21, which is Andy Whiting in the Porsche 924S, because the glass boot lid has flipped upon that. Looks like there's a part that's failed, maybe. And no doubt that the sudden change in the passage of the air over the car has pitched him into a spin there. So it's fortunate that it didn't end in something more serious than that. But yellow flag's now waving on the exit of Hollywood, with that car now at the bottom of Craner Curves, where there is a dry line, but if you get off it, you're still in trouble, I think.
And of course, that is a boot on that 924, unlike most Porsches, where you find the engine. You won't find that on the 924. You can use that as your luggage compartment. Yeah, there's the dry line that Ian just mentioned, and possibly that moment happened where he just got off of that line and it's rotated the car. Now, here comes Warren Allen. Has he come out ahead of Andrew Deuce? Deuce is across the line now, I think. So I don't think there's that much between these two cars.
I don't think there is at all between them. So
it'll all shake its way out at the end of the lap.
Yeah, so very close indeed. We've got just over 15 minutes of the race. There's the Whiting car that will need to be, or will it need to be collected?
Safety car.
Safety car is out. Yes, that's just popped up on our timing screens. We've unfortunately lost our timing tower at the moment from the live stream, but that's appeared on the live stream, and the safety car for the third time in this race is about to head out onto the track. There's the number 3 car, Fernando Coutinho, is now headed over to Gary Martin.
And one car hasn't made its pit stop yet, which is James Harvey in 40, and he's got about 10 seconds to do so. And here he comes in now, so that was cut pretty fine. But could this be an advantage for James Harvey with everybody running slower?
Yeah, exactly, because the safety car is not yet on circuit because they're waiting to pick up the leader, which is
that was actually William Cutler that came in. Apologies, because remember he pitted fraction too early at the start of the. Now Harvey has come in as well, and whether that was in time or not, unsure. But he's into the pits, as is number 36 Hugh Pert, also into the pit lane late on in this period.
Everyone has made a stop now, whether it was within 15 minutes or not, we can't be certain, but at least we can see that everyone has made a stop. So safety car is back out on circuit for the third time in this race.
There's 8 temps between Warren Allen and Andrew Juice, so I presume they are together on the circuit.
Yeah, I think they are. We'll pick them up. There they are. Yes, they've just gone through the 2 cars together. Marshall on the scene of the drama for Andy Whiting, the Daventry man, in his 2.5 litre 924S.
Yeah, so it's a bit bigger engine with the S, isn't it?
Yes, it's a slightly more powerful car, but nevertheless still eligible for the SP4 class.
Andy is an ex-motorbike racer, so I imagine that moment didn't scare him too much because it's rather better to do that in a car. He's only started car racing last year after doing track days and bike racing before that.
There's the snatch vehicle. It's ready on the opposite side of the circuit, just waiting for a gap in the traffic now for it to be called onto the circuit and to move the Andy Whiting car.
So, sorry, and just say come through, although a long way back, in third place is the car that Ross Morris has handed over to Ed Harvey. So that's in what would be third position, and in fourth position, perhaps made use of that pit stop and then the safety car came out, is Edward handing over to Clayton Sampson, because they're up into fourth position, I believe, in their Class 3 968.
Yeah. So safety car is just crawling its way up to McLean's, trying to keep as many racing laps in this race as possible. But I think it's probably going to be at least one more safety car lap after this by the time that Andy Whiting car has been recovered.
The pit window closed graphic has come up on my timing screen and suggests it was a minute and a half after James Harvey came in. So if that's accurate, that's all good for James and everybody else. So we'll be able to get a true look at the order when we go back racing. But it's a real shame that this race has been interrupted like it has on so many different occasions.
3 different occasions now, yeah. So there's Wazzer Allen and there's AD, Andrew Juice, just behind him.
There's 177, that's third, Ed Harvey. So there's not that many cars between him and the head, and then behind him on the road is the Sampson car, then the Gunn Carter car. There's James Harvey, so he's jumped a number of positions, I think, with that late pit stop that seems to have worked into his advantage. Yeah,
timing screen will sort of sort itself out, I think, momentarily, won't it? Because it will have then Alan going back ahead on our timing screen of Harvey, which is the opposite to what we have at the moment. There you can see the snatch vehicle down at the old hairpin. It's been connected up. Marshall gives the thumbs up, and the snatch vehicle there now try and tow Andy Whiting's car away. Safety car, going at a very reduced pace, but at least one more lap will be required. I've not picked up the leader, of course. Oh dear. For those of you that aren't watching the live stream, the snatch vehicle is now wheel spinning. Such is the muddy morass that we have down there at the old hairpin.
I think they're going to have to pull from the front, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to try something else. They're not going to be able to go backwards.
Downhill's all right, it's going uphill. Yeah. You can see in the background, I'm not sure when that happened, but the turf has taken quite a pounding, as I think it may do now, because there is still wheel spinning going on from our snatch vehicle.
Yeah, it's not great. We've had the wettest 6 months on record, I think, and it's no surprise that all of the circuits will be suffering I know there's been some issues at Alton Park today.
I hope the circuit manager's not watching, because this might be a bit of a terrifying moment for what he's going to come in for tomorrow morning.
Thank goodness they're not protective of the grass around here. Anyway, we are working lap 16 now of the race. So the order with 10 minutes to go was around number 165 leads. AD Juice, as the snatch vehicle has now managed to make a move. AD Juice 8 is in second place. Third is 177, which is the car of Edward Harvey now. Fourth is the number 30 car, shared by the Sampsons, Clayton now at the wheel. Fifth is number 4, which is the James Gunn Carter car. Sixth is number 40, that's James Harvey. Seventh is number 35, which is our SP3 class leader, Daniel Crago. SP2, by the way, being led by Juice. Eighth, number 199, which is the car of Stephen Cunniff. Ninth is number 20, which is the car of Rich Gravestock. Rounding out the top 10 is number 15, which is the car of Brian Richardson.
It's happened again, but in a different place.
Oh dear, it's not going well, this recovery. It's really, really horribly muddy down there. SP4, by the way, is being led by James Charambides in the number 62 car. He's 21st overall in the Porsche 924. But I think the place that Andy Whiting has come to a halt is just about the muddiest part of this.
Britain.
Britain, I was going to say Donington Park, but you may be right. So it's a very slow progress in trying to recover this car to a position of safety, I'm afraid. There's one marshal gamely trying to help the efforts by pushing the car along, but yeah, the conditions really not great down there, and that is the problem that we're going to have a few more weeks of this season at least. I think if drivers do go off track, it's the recovery that's going to take a lot of time. Another marshal has now arrived to lend his weight to support matters.
The weather forecast isn't good for the following week either.
It's not.
For those of you who are watching at home, not in the UK, basically the whole of the winter season here has rained, if not every day, every other day. And here in the UK, and it's been, I think you were saying earlier, the wettest winter on record, which is unsurprising. Discussion on the 750 Motor Club YouTube page is going to what other Porsches we would like to see in this series. There's been some offers of 356s and 550s, which might be a little bit extravagant. But 914s, I think that's perhaps more of a possibility.
Yes.
There's a few 914s that raced out there, and it's very much in the ethos for the 911s that we've got on the grid today. So more classic Porsches would be welcomed, I'm sure. If they don't fit into the power to weight ratio, like Ken Van Howen's 911, at the discretion of the organiser, they can be allowed into the invitation class as well. So, not unless you've got a GT3 car or something, I suspect the organiser would be pretty happy to have a look at what you've got to allow it into the series. As Ian said earlier, it's a very welcoming place, the Calm paddock, as is the 750 Motor Club paddock in general. There's already lots of people saying about how there's been lots of camaraderie to get people out and running. As you can see, the grids today have been pretty good all the way through. No weaker than we'd sort of expect any other time, in some cases stronger. We've got a big grid of Porsches here. We've got the biggest ever Mazda 7 grid, despite the British economy being not in the best of places.
I think there's been worry across sort of Club Motorsport, National Motorsport, that numbers might start to dip, and every year we've kind of thought that might be the case, before or since COVID really, and it's not really happened yet. I mean, it's early on in the season yet. I think this meeting is doing well in terms of the numbers that it has produced. I think other clubs have had slightly mixed starts to their season. Some championships performing better than others. I'm sure it was the case with the 750 Motor Club as well, but I don't think there's anything that's really fallen off the edge of a cliff too much yet in Club Motorsports more generally, and let's hope it stays that way, because it's the sport that we love, isn't it? And we turn out to commentate on and marshal at and officiate at and spectate at. And 750 Motor Club meetings in particular are always ones that are eagerly anticipated by anyone who knows anything about them, basically. Anyway, where are we in this race? We are on lap 17 of this race now. That last lap behind the safety car took 4.75 minutes. So it was a very pedestrian lap by the safety car. 5 minutes of this race left to go.
So it's got to come in this lap if we're going to get any more racing.
I think it has, and then it will probably only be one lap that we would get. I'm not quite sure what the latest is on the recovery mission. Yeah. It seems to have stalled, I'm afraid. Down there, we've still got yellow flags waving. And the safety car still circulating, but at the moment, the Andy Whiting Porsche is not in a... and it's not able to be recovered, basically.
Is it in a worse place than it was before? 'Cause it was kind of close to the tarmac before.
Yeah, I think it might be, and it's not Andy's fault particularly. It's nobody's fault. It's just the conditions that we're faced with at the moment. So we'll see if we do get any more racing laps in this Carmel Porsche Trophy race. It'd be a great shame if we don't, because some beautiful cars. It would have been nice to have seen them pushed a little bit harder, driven in anger a little bit more than they have been. But yeah, a bit of a shame that conditions have dictated that a relatively minor off in the scheme of things has taken a long time to deal with. But yeah, it's nobody's fault. I'm not sure what anybody could do about it, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, 4 minutes of the race left to go in this Carmel Porsche Trophy race, with blue skies now all over Donington Park. A few clouds, but quite a nice afternoon after the dismal start to the day that we had.
We have penalties here,
Well,
including for the car that was running in second position. So I think this has been added to our timing screen. So number 8, Andrew Juice, presume this is for a 1.8 second short pit stop.
Yeah.
He's going to get there for plus 30 seconds on top of 1.8, and it's not the only car, because car 28, Andy Baker, was 1.3 seconds short, and I think this is due to our new timing partner, TSL Timing, that have the ability to time pit in to pit out, then can add the stationary time to a pit in to pit out time, and therefore we get these penalties a lot quicker this year, and therefore that is going to affect the result and affect the Class 2 win.
Yep, so we are going to get the checkered flag, are we, as they go, yes, across the line this time, which is not a particular surprise because of the issue in recovering the Andy Whiting car. So a great shame that the Carmel Porsche Trophy race ends as early as it did. It is was it Allen then that's going to win. We're going to have to wait for the all the cars to come through and the penalties to sort of wash through. I'll give you the rest of the order in a minute, but certainly Wazza Allen has won, but we had a relatively small number of actual racing laps in that race, which is a great shame for all of the competitors that came out in such great numbers for the Carmel Porsche Trophy race. And I feel a little bit sorry for all of the organisers, because there's nothing that they could have done about it. So Wazza Allen it was that took the win from Edward Harvey in second.
And Ross Morris.
And Ross Morris indeed. And then the Sampsons in third place. Edward followed by Clayton. Those were the top three, Josh.
And all class winners. And then the fourth class winner was James Carolambes, who finished in 20th position overall. And you can see the results on your screen.
Yeah, let's have a look then. 1.651 Allen took the win in the Porsche Cayman after 17 laps of racing and safety car. 1.77 Edward Harvey sharing the car with Ross Morris in second, 10 seconds behind the winner in their Porsche Boxster S. And third, and completing the top three and three different class winners, Edward and Clayton Sampson in their Porsche 968 Sport. Fourth was number 4 James Gunn Carter in the Boxster. Fifth, number 40 James Harvey in a Boxster. And sixth was number 35 Daniel Crago in the Porsche 968 Club Sport. Seventh was 199 Stephen Cunniff. Eighth, number 20 Rich Gravestock. Ninth was number 15 Brian Richardson. And 10th was number 27 the car of Barrington Darcy and Nick Wallace. There's Gary Martin and Andrew Deuce after his penalty, Tom McHugh, and then the 987 car of Gary Stanford and Grant Jackson. Over the page, in 15th position, we have the car of the newcomer, which was number 11, Dominic McGee and Stuart Warner. Also drawing attention to James Chamalambides in 20th position overall in car 62. He won the SP4 class from Darren Constant, number 42, in second, and the 26 car in third of Stephen and Edward Potts. So I think 27 cars, maybe 28 cars made it to the finish, but we lost Andy Whiting and we lost the Callahans, and they lost a wheel up there at McLean's, which brought about the second of our 3 safety car periods.
It wasn't really an attritional race considering how the race went. It was just very unfortunate things, I think.
Absolutely right. And in particular, the latter issue with the recovery of the car, just not a lot that could be done about that. And hopefully, we will get that car moved and the snatch vehicle moved before the next race. Well, we'll have to get it moved before the next race. There is no choice in that matter.
It might
take a while. The Freak Sports Specials Championship is up next. There's the cars making their way down the pit lane. They'll head to Parc Fermé for post-race scrutineering checks. I think we will get the top 3 though, and maybe the class winner Jalan Bidis pulled in as well to have a word with Yusuf. We'll just might have a little bit more time than usual to have a word with the drivers. Yeah, okay. Some very clear signalling going on there to number 30, Clayton Sampson, who didn't sort of want to believe that he needed to be shepherded to a 3rd position overall. There we go. He's pulled in behind the 750 Motor Club floppy marker now. Maybe we'll get a word with the Sampsons and a few hugs. There we go. Everyone's having a very good time in the Carmel Porsche Trophy paddock.
I'm not sure how much driving Ed Harvey got to do, because Ross Morris did a lot of the start, but he's very pleased, and he's got a fan club to go with it.
Absolutely. Well, the fan club certainly have enjoyed the action down there in the grandstand, haven't they? Just adjacent to the pit garages.
And a martini racing Porsche overalls. That's not much cooler than that.
Now the Andy Whiting car has been recovered on a very long piece of rope from a rescue truck in the next county, a recovery truck in the next county. The next task will be to try and move the snatch vehicle as well, but it does look like...
I hope that should be able to go downhill on its own steam, I hope.
Hopefully. But yes, recovery work ongoing. Meanwhile, the top 3 drivers and teams from the last race, they're going to sort themselves out after they've finished hugging one another and taking the adulation of their fans, and we'll hear from them in just a moment. 5 more races to come here at Donington Park this afternoon, but we'll head down to Yusuf bin Sahel now, who's in the pit lane.
We're here with, well, I'd say our top 3, but once again, first stunner runner. I say we promote you to first, but unfortunately, it's not my decision. Talk us through the race, because there were a lot of safety cars, so I'm guessing there was a lot of thoughts going on regarding strategy and whatnot.
It was all about just making the most of the restarts, making sure that the tyres and brakes were all up to temperature, so that when the safety car came in, I was able to gain places rather than lose places.
My other question is, track's drying up massively. I could see from about a few minutes in that there was already a dry line going into turn 1. Was that the same around the rest of the circuit?
No, it wasn't. Out into Cops, it was very, very slippy on the outside, and yes, was losing it a few times, but mega race. Huge thanks to Team Parker Racing and Ross, who stuck with me for a few years now. He's brought me on, so huge thanks to Ross. Thank you.
So is this your first podium then as a duo?
Yeah, and first class win. So yeah, very, very, very happy.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and good luck at the next round.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, we will go and grab our 3rd place team, which is father and son duo. I'm going to assume.
Clayton Sampson and Ed Sampson.
Sorry, we'll get you both into the camera shot. Talk us through the race. It looked quite difficult.
Good. No, actually, it wasn't too bad. So we started P2. Out of 5 in class, and managed to hold that position throughout the race until the pit stop in the middle, where I got out and he got in, and then he spent the rest of the safety car time driving in for for third overall somehow.
So how do we make up for the fact that he got all of the racing time and you didn't?
Well, there's always the next race. Yeah, I got one fast lap in at least, so that was good. But yeah, it was a bit frustrating that I didn't really get to go, but we've got a good result, so we can't complain.
Yeah, and we've got to thank the team over here as well for doing a fantastic job all weekend, and the fans here today and out in Dubai as well. So thanks very much.
I heard a lot of cheering. Fantastic job, guys, and good luck at the next round.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So with that, we're going to throw to a quick break because we have our sport specials coming up soon.